Hi, everyone. This is Wayne Gladman, Customer Success Director with Ebsta. This is the webinar today for building better relationships in Salesforce. So just wanted to give it about a few more minutes here in case anyone else wants to join, and then I will begin. Okay, so once again, this is Wayne from Ebsta, Customer Success Director. So we're going to begin today with the Build Better Relationships in Salesforce webinar. So let me share my screen here for you, and I'll take you through just a quick slide deck so we know what we're going through. Oops. Perfect. So building better relationships in Salesforce, right? So, first off, just want to say we're running this webinar because more and more people, right, are working from home with the whole coronavirus thing going on. I myself am working from home right now. And I just thought it would be good to take customers and future customers through Ebsta Team, right? And really show how in this specific scenario where you have more people working from home, it's an even better idea to keep as much data in Salesforce as possible, mainly communication data, right? So a little bit about me, right? I handle all of Ebsta's EMEA customers. A big part of my job, is just making sure every one of my customers achieves most value. So one of those things being running webinars like this, and just making sure I'm always there for customers. And we have a full team of customer success people that do exactly the same. So if you're a current customer, or if you're a future customer, know that there's someone on the customer success side to help you get the most value. So the first thing, right, the main thing is we believe that relationships are the most important part of your business, right? And mainly the relationships that you have basically are shown inside of Salesforce, right? They need to be shown because as employees come and go, or people are out sick, or people are working from home, everyone's got to help out. And whenever you access a record, it's becoming more and more beneficial to know what's going on, to understand really the story of what's going on with that record, right? So a bit of an agenda today is, first, I'm just going to go through a bit of a getting started, kind of like a crash course in Ebsta Team, just what it takes to get set up. And then I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going to do a live training on building that 360 view of all those contacts, those leads, those accounts, opportunities, all within inside of Salesforce. You see what's going on with all those various objects. I'm going to show you how we automatically capture every single contact that people are working with. Also, leveraging relationships across your business, right? Seeing who has the best relationship with specific records. And then I'm going to show you our score engagement, the EPSA Score, right? So you can actually see what the engagement is like on every single record inside of Salesforce. And then, of course, using that in your forecasting to focus on specific opportunities, mainly opportunities that are at risk, right? And then I'm also going to provide some helpful resources to our knowledge base. And then also we're just going to do a quick Q&A if there's anything I missed and go over. Okay. So first thing, right, just getting started. You can download us on the Salesforce App Exchange, Ebsta Team Edition, right? Once you download it, you do need to be a Salesforce admin on the Salesforce to do that, right? So once you download that, first step is just connecting the mailboxes, preferably through what we call a service account, but you can do it manually as well. And then also adding Ebsta Team to the various page layouts or objects inside of Salesforce, right? So these can be standard objects, they could be custom objects. Really, we work in every single object available, and we connect to every single mailbox, right? Good to probably note that the mailbox itself does not have to be related to a Salesforce user license either, right? And then beyond all that, finally, once we have all that data in, you can build engagement reports inside of Salesforce's dashboards platform, right? Now, the next thing, we're going to do a quick walkthrough of Ebsta Team. So I'm just going to jump right into my demo account right here. And right here, we're on My Demo Services. It's just standard account Salesforce. But again, this can work on any custom object that you have available inside of Salesforce. And if we scroll down, first thing we're going to see is the Activities tab, right? Now, the Activities tab, it really allows you to understand the story that's going on with each account, right? Or each contact or each opportunity, right? So these emails are listed here in chronological order. So you can quickly identify and read which emails you're looking for, right? And this is opposed to, of course, you know, having to dig through activities all day, right? This allows you as a user, again, one who's maybe working from home, if someone else has been reaching out to a specific account or contact, you can see that communication and then what they said back to them fairly quickly, right? Because this window is dynamic, so it changes, automatically updates for you. There's nothing users need to do to be logging this communication. You can also filter this communication at the top, because it's not just sent and received emails, but we also do, if you're logging calls, if you have an auto dialer that say logging calls inside of Salesforce, we'll pick those up and display them. If you are syncing your calendar with us, which we recommend, we'll pick up all meeting invites, right? So those invites will be shown in this window. So in a way, what this acts is kind of a modern activity history with Salesforce, right? And it gives you kind of that 360 view of what's going on with a specific record. Okay, and also at the top, you can search by subject line. So if you're looking for a specific email, and these emails can also still be added to Salesforce if you wish on the right-hand side. And probably good to know that attachments, if attachments are included on any of these emails, you'll know that by a attachment paperclip there. So you can either download it or you can just add it into the attachments inside of Salesforce by actually clicking on the paperclip. Right, so then the next tab you have is the Contacts tab. Now the Contacts tab is really a way to tap into the company network of a specific record, right? Because what we've done here is we've mined your email server to pull in every single email contact piece of information that we can find, right? Mainly email signatures, right? And the good thing about this is we list these contacts in order of what we call velocity, or it's also technically the EPSA score, right? These are people with the highest amount of engagement. So Lunamorphous at the very top of my list has the highest amount of engagement with my company. So I know if I'm new to this record, Lunamorphous is probably the best person I want to reach out to, because she's exchanged not only maybe the most emails, but has responded to the most emails, right? Has been the most engaged. Also, you know, again, like I said, just like the activities, how the window is dynamic, this window is dynamic as well. These phone numbers, these job titles, of course, the emails, everything is populated from the email signature. So if anything were to change, if someone were to update their email signature, right, we'll change it here. It'll display here. And the contacts that are listed here are contacts. They'll be listed here whether or not they're listed in Salesforce, if they're already existing contacts, right? So for instance, Lunamorphous, right, she's an existing contact. I have a direct record, a direct link to her contact record inside of Salesforce if I click on that. But for instance, Diane Lockhart, the CEO of the company, I do not have a contact record of this person, right? So for whatever reason, my users have not actually added her as an existing contact. However, even though EPSA will always display this information for you, you know, any user can go in, click create new contact record, and we'll actually just parse the information directly into a new contact field, right? And the users really just click save or adds in whatever else they need, right? But again, at the end of the day, what EPSA is really after is if users still just don't do anything, the data quality inside of your Salesforce really won't be at a loss, because the information will always be collected by us, displayed by us for you to always be taken advantage of. The next tab you have is the Alerts tab, right? And the Alerts tab monitors changes in a record, right? So realistically, anytime someone comes in contact with them, back in really the old days of Salesforce, right? Anybody who responds to someone or has a communication with them, if there's a new phone number, if there's a new job title, like for instance, Melvin Bosworth right here, you know, it's ideal for the user to go into Salesforce and update that information. Again, doesn't always happen, especially now more and more, right? With people working from home, it's people might not have the best working spaces So they're trying to do, their job without, dropping the ball on some things, and some things may be forgotten, namely updating the Salesforce. Whereas with this information, again, just gets listed in the form of alerts. So again, any user can go to a record and start looking at what changes have taken place to this record. And an obvious one here is Melvin Bosworth has changed his job title, right? For instance, we didn't even have a job title inside of Salesforce, but he has a new job title in his email signature. So EPSA recognized that in the form of an alert. So you can just quickly update it by clicking on the check mark icon, and it'll go against his existing record, right? And then also, just like in the contacts tab, we list all the new contacts that should be added. And these are people with matching domains to the record, so we know they should exist against this record. Okay, and then beyond all of this, right, this is pretty much just the front end communication data that you're going to be seeing, but all of this information is constantly being analyzed by EPSA. And one of the main focal points of our analysis, right, is called the EPSA Score. The EPSA Score appears on the right-hand side of the Visual Force page right here. And it's a score from 0 to 100, but it's basically a score to measure engagement. And from just a single user perspective, it's good to know what the engagement, what the response rate is on this specific record. You can always tell if it's trending up or down. So if people are responding to the emails, right? And really, engagement is factored by a number of things, but basically it's gone by where, an outbound email is weighted a bit less than an inbound email, right? So if you send 10 outbound emails with maybe no response, right? Pretty low EPSA score. If you send, 2 emails, get 1 response and book a meeting, it's pretty high EPSA score. It shows engagement, right? And this engagement can translate to a number of reports. From a front end perspective, it translates to who actually has the best relationship at your business, who has the best relationship with this account that you're looking at, right? Based off of that EPSA score. So you'll see we have a custom field here that we built that we can pull from the EPSA score. And my colleague, Oliver Squires, Director of Business Development, he actually has the best relationship. And most likely because he was originally selling to them, right? So it may not actually dictate who should be owning this account, but it gives you a good idea of who had the best relationship beforehand. Okay, and then at the very bottom, we're going to see a few more bits of EPSA reporting. But we got some other custom fields that can populate data, right? Inbound, outbound emails. So we pull in a number for this specific record, total emails exchanged, inbound versus outbound. Obviously, we can show last email activity date that we pull, and then we got that EPSA score trend right here that appears. Right. And also at the very top, we're going to see how that EPSA score also translates to everyone else in the business, right? So these are all individuals at EPSA on my end. And I can see what their EPSA score is against this record, right? So maybe see who has the lowest EPSA score compared to who has the highest, which is Oliver Squires here. Okay. And then beyond all this, again, is a big part is our EPSA reporting, right? And that comes in the form of Salesforce dashboards, right? So you have, if you click on the dashboards tab right here, we got EPSA Score Insights. The first thing you're going to see is EPSA Score benchmarking, right? And the one thing about benchmarking is that probably the first question everyone gets when we talk about the EPSA score is, what's a good EPSA score? And pretty much an EPSA score is really different for everyone, right? And so a good EPSA score for some person might be a bad EPSA score for someone else. But reality is if we put an EPSA score on every single one of your opportunities, or say if you're in recruitment, any one of your jobs, right? Upon closing, close won or close lost, that specific deal, that EPSA score will get saved as is and won't change from there on out, right? So what we can do is we can look at all those closed opportunities. And we could look at all the closed won, closed lost, and what was the EPSA score? And then we could start making an average, right? And then we could really start paying attention to maybe not necessarily what is a good EPSA score, but what's a bad EPSA score? What's a score we need to stay above, right? So basically, so we can catch deals before it comes to the day of, and then we can also start getting real insight into what's a real deal, essentially, right? What is, we want to pretty much weed out any type of fake deals, right? We want to understand of all these opportunities that we have, which opportunities do we need to focus on? Which ones are at more of a possible loss, right? Depending on that EPSA score, because that engagement has gone down, right? But this benchmarking is something that you can create when you implement the EPSA score, and something that we can help with as well. But if we keep scrolling down, we're going to see a few more pretty neat reports we built inside of this dashboard. And a really good one is lead scoring. This is for top of the funnel, right? So we want to see the leads in my database for these open leads, which ones have the lowest engagement, which ones are we not responding with, right? So you can see I have 19 total leads, but for this one, for instance, the low end, I got about 7 leads with really low EPSA scores, right? So that gives me kind of an idea that maybe these are the leads I need to focus on to understand why is the engagement low, why are they not responding? Are they old leads? Are they bad leads? I mean, it just gives you an idea of the engagement on those ones so you can really focus in, right? And then even more, you can actually prioritize on the hottest leads. So for instance, the EPSA score really starts to show its power if you have a marketing score, right? So if you're looking at like a Pardot score, you want to actually look at the EPSA score versus that specific one, so you can actually see maybe not, these EPSA scores there's high engagement with like a low marketing score. That's not so bad, but really where we want to pay attention to is we got these high marketing scores. People are interacting with our marketing. However, the EPSA score is low. Why are we not getting a response from them, right? So you can actually look at just those leads and start honing in and understanding which leads maybe you need to focus on, because these are good leads. If they're interacting with marketing, then there's got to be something where we got to get them to speak to a real person on our end. If we keep scrolling down here, another really good report that can be built is forecasting, right? Forecasting from the EPSA score against the actual amount of the deal, right? So in this report specifically, right, we basically see that all my reps are actually focusing on kind of the low-hanging fruit, right? We got these smaller deals that have great engagement, right? But maybe I might want to have them focus on maybe these higher level deals, right, with these lower engagement. Now we have these deals that are from 40 to 120K, but the engagement is low, right? So these specific deals are something I want to look at the end of the month to make sure, is there anything I can do, right? And the EPSA score actually surfaces that information, allows you to actually see that. Whereas like without knowing what the engagement is, you're really just looking at what number of emails, maybe number of calls, why aren't we getting a response? But you'd have to look through every single opportunity, where EPSA is going to actually surface that information for you. Okay. And then also in terms of sales process, pipeline progression, insanely important, right? Because we want to know at what stage our deals actually is engagement going down. Are we losing people at a specific point in the deal process, right? So we can actually see the EPSA score is highest, of course, in the beginning, right? But as we get to kind of the meat of the deal, right, it starts to dwindle, right? So we want to know what we're doing wrong. Okay. If we keep scrolling down, there's a few more, and this actually probably relates a bit to me, right? But we have opportunities. We want to know at what stage, which opportunities have the lowest engagement, right? So we'll see actually the proposals, right? Proposal, price, quote. So these ones, we have the engagement has just gone down. So we got about 2 deals here that are at the price quote right at the end, but they're not responding, right? So it's good to identify those deals where we actually have a contract out, but we're not getting a response. Why aren't we getting a response on those? Okay. And I would say a final one actually big on me, right? Because in my role, customer success, I deal with renewals all the time, right? So I'm always discussing renewals. So I always want to know what is going on with my renewal pipeline. So in this scenario right here, I'm monitoring all my renewals, And first off, I can see for each month it's broken up, but I could look at which renewals specifically, right, are low engagement. And again, I got 2 at the top here in September. And again, October, I got the same, another 2, right? So again, what the EPSA score really tries to surface, again, it's good engagement is great, right? That's happy to have, but really what we try to surface is the bad engagement, because we want to be able to change that and bring more people into the green. Okay. Now let me jump back to our PowerPoint here really quick. And that was pretty much the walkthrough of Ebsta Team, kind of a crash course as well, again, right? But definitely happy to go through more if you have questions. But the main takeaways, right, of this is we want to effortlessly capture every single email and meeting inside of Salesforce. And that's what Ebsta does with this tool, right? Emails are hooked up. We capture the information automatically without input from the user. Okay, and then we also automatically capture every single contact record with the latest information, right? We're updating contact information, phone numbers, job titles, and then we can also better collaborate as a team, right? Because when all this information is inside of Salesforce, again, in a scenario of working from home, everyone's accessing the same org, but every time someone accesses a record, they see what's going on company-wide. And then more for the management folks, right? Scoring engagement to identify risk, right? We want to know, what are my opportunities at risk? Which ones do I need to focus on with my team? And even for the user, if you're a sales rep and you're just wanting to understand my deals, which ones I'm not getting engagement on, you can see that. You can build a report, okay? And those reports can be managed against leads, opportunities, and customers, right? So if the management can build this information, these dashboards, which again, we have a consultative team that can help, professional services, but we also have a very extensive knowledge base that walks you through this. Okay, and then that helpful information right from our knowledge base is right here. So we have a support team, works 24 hours, right? And then works with leads, contacts, accounts, opportunities, jobs, application cases, right? Custom objects, anything you got inside of Salesforce. We can place Ebsta Team inside of it to start collecting data. And then pricing just starts at $30 a month per mailbox that you connect, which again, the mailboxes that you connect in no relation to the Salesforce licenses, right? These are any mailboxes in the company. A lot of people like to hook up info at, right? Support at, those are great. Anything that's really dealing with customers or prospects, right? And again, it can be downloaded directly from Salesforce App Exchange. And then the knowledge base, really extensive knowledge base we have available to all of our customers. And then videos like this, we upload to YouTube all the time, with just walkthroughs, okay? And again, dedicated team, always available to you. I'm part of the customer success team, but there's plenty more people on the team always willing to help. And then, you know, this recording of this webinar is going to be shared after this. So if you did register, which if you're in it, you definitely registered, you'll get a recording of this. But then finally, again, round the clock support at ebsta.com. Anything ever going wrong, you let us know. We'll sort it out for you. Okay. And then finally, just a Q&A. Let me see if I can. If you want to type in your questions into the chat area of Zoom, they'll pop up here for me and I can see it. Yeah, and it looks like just Preet has stayed with me. Hey, Preet, thank you for staying. That is it.